Hello Libra, Sun, Rising, and Venus, and welcome to your reading. So Libra, today we're going to go over your energy as well as your person's energy. We're going to see how the both of you are currently viewing this relationship and how you guys feel about it, and what actions you guys plan on taking each other's direction and are moving forward. Also too, Libra, keep in mind that time is fluid, so this could either currently be happening or maybe happening at a later date. Another thing, you may find yourself resonating with the person to the right of me than you do with the person to the left of me, and that's okay. Sometimes that actually does happen. So just kind of pick and choose who you resonate more so with. But with all of that being said, Libra, let's get started. How does Libra currently view this relationship? Okay, Libra. So we do have the 10 of Swords. We also have the Ace of Cups. And then we also have the 3 of Wands. Okay. In regards to how you're currently viewing this relationship, Libra, I do see you definitely connecting with someone fairly new. However, it is very hard for you to be open and receptive to this connection that is showing up in your life. And I do believe that it does have a lot to do with things that you have went through in the past with other people. It's not easy for you to trust anyone anymore. It is not easy for you to allow your guard down with anybody, anymore. I just kind of feel like your past has definitely changed you. It has made you more guarded. It has caused you to look at everybody like everybody's untrustworthy and out to get you, and it doesn't have your best interests at heart, things of that nature. So although I do see you trying to be open and receptive to this connection, it's one of those things where it's like, it's kind of easier said than done. You know what I mean? Because of everything that you've been through. All right, let's look at this person. How does this person currently view this relationship? Let's see. So we come here. We have the Ace of Wands. We have the Strength card. And then we also have, okay, well, we'll see how this plays out here between you and this, because they're just as scared as you are. They're just as scared as you are. I could tell that the both of you love what you guys currently have with one another and how things are unfolding between the two of you, but you guys are just as equally, afraid of this connection is what I'm gathering. It's like we got two people here who are very interested in one another, but extremely guarded at the same exact time. So we'll see. We'll see how this all plays out. I do feel like the both of you are doing this, by the way, but I feel like the both of you are kind of like portraying this image like you guys don't really fear this connection, whatsoever. But you guys do. You guys definitely do. At the bottom of the deck, we do have the Six of Cups. So the both of you feel a very strong, intense connection, with one another. And again, I just kind of see you guys both portraying this image like you guys don't really fear this connection whatsoever. You don't fear this person hurting you, and they don't fear you essentially hurting them. But that's very, very far from the truth is basically what I'm gathering. You guys just both have a very difficult time being vulnerable with people. So, I mean, it makes sense as to why you guys are like portraying this image to one another. Like you guys are not afraid of this connection. You guys are not afraid of getting hurt by one another. But the reality of the situation is you're scared and so are they. I just kind of feel you guys are not expressing that or letting it show. How does Libra currently feel? Okay, so we do, okay. We have the Seven of Pentacles. We got the Empress. And then we also have the Six. So hopefully the same thing happens on their behalf. It looks like the more you spend time with this person and, talk to this person and get to know this person, the more you start to find yourself feeling like, oh, okay, well, wait a minute, like they're not this evil villain like I thought they were. They're actually like a really, really good person. They're actually, really, really kind and really respectful and thoughtful. So I am definitely getting that as far as your doubts and reservations is concerned, that's going to really start to essentially dissipate the more you spend time with them and get to know them. Okay, cool. Hopefully that happens to this person as well. How does this person currently feel? All right, so we have the Seven of Cups for them. We got the Four of Swords for them, and then, oh, here we go, Two of Swords. Because this person is already starting to kind of find themselves extremely fearful of you and this connection that they share with you, it kind of has this person questioning, whether or not they're actually ready for love or not. Okay. Now, I don't see this person, I don't see this person running in the opposite direction of this relationship or anything like that. I just kind of feel like everything that's coming up to the surface for them, at least, it's causing them to question, like, man, like, am I really ready for a relationship? Because my trust issues are starting to come up to the surface, my past trauma, that's starting to come up to the surface. Like, I don't know if I'm actually ready, for a relationship like I thought I was. How does this person feel? Let me ask one more time. Oh, wow. 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 Okay. Okay. We have the, I feel like that's the problem, though. I feel like that's the problem. How do I explain what this person is doing? And I don't even feel like they're consciously aware that this is what they're actually doing here. God, how do I explain them? I feel like this person looks at you like you're just like everybody that they've ever dealt with, okay? And I feel like the reason why they feel this way is because they're so used to dealing with the same type of person, but just like in a different body over and over and over and over again. Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, this person has a history of dealing with cheaters, okay? They just can't help but to assume that you're probably a cheater yourself. Not to say that you are, but you catch my drift. They may not be consciously aware of this. But they're not setting their doubts and reservations to the side to really get to know you, because they think that they already know you. Does that make sense? Like, they're not setting their doubts and reservations to the side to really, really get to know you, because they think that they already know you and what you're about and how you are, which is very, very far, because this narrative that they have of you is very, very far from like how you really are as a person, if that makes any sense. You're showing up as an empress. They're looking at you like you're probably a queen of wands. You probably are. You know what I mean? You're very far from a queen of wands. There's levels to this, you guys. There's the queen of wands comes out first, and we have the queen of swords that follows, queen of cups, queen of pentacles, and that's when we hit empress status. You're like the polar opposite of what they think you are, is basically what I'm gathering. So again, let's just say that like this person, has a history of dealing with, people who cheat on them. Well, you're very far from a cheater, Let's just say this person thinks that you're a playboy playgirl like energy. Well, you're very far from that. And I also feel like you don't got time for all of that either. An empress is somebody who has a lot of responsibilities. They don't have time to be out here playing no games, okay? I feel like they had dealt with a lot of people who had nothing but time on their hands to essentially play games, because a queen of wands is somebody who doesn't have the amount of responsibilities that an empress does. So yeah, of course, they have nothing but time to essentially play games. A queen of wands anyways. An empress, no, not so much. An empress is just somebody who has, a lot of responsibilities, a lot of stuff on their plate. They're not trying to waste their time or anybody else's time or play all these like little kid games. They ain't got time for all that. You don't have time for all of that. I just don't think this person's consciously aware that that's what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, because this is like the epitome of judging a book by its cover, right? It's like they're taking one good look at you and they're just like thinking to themselves, well, they're probably like this, and they're probably like that, and they're also probably like this too, because they kind of look like they kind of look like they're a liar. They kind of look like they're a player to me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that this person's setting aside their doubts and reservations to really, really get to know you. I think that they were at some point, for them to develop these emotions for you. That's kind of telling me that initially, right, when this person met you, started spending time with you, getting to know you, it's like they started to love. They started to love what they basically saw and how you were as an individual. And then that's when this whole like, well, I just think that they're like this because they kind of look like a liar to me. They kind of look like a player to me. They kind of look like this to me. They kind of look like that. And they're probably like this, and they're probably like that. It's like, that's when their own doubts and reservations started to essentially kick in. And that's when this whole like mentality of, I think I know exactly who Libra is without really, really getting to know you, started to kind of take place, if that makes any sense. Like, they were doing really good. I will give them that. They were doing really, really good by allowing themselves to just get to know you. But this whole like belief that they had of you started to kind of kick in. And that's when like, things started to kind of, you know, go left for this person. That's when they started to kind of find themselves falling into this energy of, man, I don't know about Libra. Because I just think that they're like this on the third. And on top of that, I mean, all these other things that are coming up to the surface, you know, for me, this must be, you know, this just must be a sign that, like, I'm not ready for love. Like I thought I was. I think that that's something that this person can learn from you, as far as like setting aside your doubts and reservations is concerned, and really getting to essentially know a person. I think that's something that this person can definitely learn from you. I just don't think this person's consciously aware what they're doing. I don't. Like, they think that they know you, but they don't know you. You know what I mean? They don't really know you. Like, they could get to know you if they were to just set aside their own doubts and reservations about you. But that's the thing, is that they think that they're right about you. So then there's that. We'll see how this plays out. What actions? We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so we have the Sun. We do have the Queen of Swords. And then we also have the Star out here. The bottom of the deck. We do have the... Okay, we have the Queen of Pentacles. We got the World. And then we also have the... Ten of Cups. You know, as far as you're concerned, you feel like this person over here might just be the one for you. This is somebody that brings a lot of happiness, a lot of joy into your life. They also fit, you know, what it is that you're looking for, you know, within a person. You just basically look at this person like they're perfect for you. Like, this is the person you can see yourself building and establishing a life with, as well as settling down with. What actions? Here we go. Their doubts and reservations again. We have the Wheel of Fortune to the Lover. Why do they do this? It's like, God, how do I explain what this person's doing? We did initially see this person allow themselves, right, to really, really get to know you. And then that's when, like, I would say, like, their overthinking ways started to kind of kick in. You know, that's when they started, you know, secretly judging you in their head and coming up, I guess, with this, you know, narrative of you that you're probably like this and you're probably like that. You know what I mean? Now, despite the fact, right, that they found themselves secretly judging you, or I guess secretly creating this negative narrative of you in their head, they still found themselves nonetheless feeling drawn to you and your energy, as well as this connection, right, that the two of you share with one another. And I feel like the only reason why this is happening is because they're going based off of how they essentially felt initially at first, right? Initially at first, they felt really good about you and this connection and the direction in which things were heading in. And then boom, it's like their overthinking ways just started to kick in. Their doubts started to kick in. Their reservations started to kick in. Let's just call it for what it is. Their judgmental ways started to essentially kick in. They started, you know, assuming that you were just like every other person they have ever dealt with, and, you know, things of that nature. I just think that this person needs to realize that you're not like these people that they used to essentially deal with. You're actually very far from that. Like, you're the polar opposite of that, which is exactly what this person has been wanting and waiting for. Check this out. For those of you who don't know this, okay, the Ace of Wands speaks of our own personal wants and desires. The person that's in the Strength card is the Empress. So that's telling me that this person has a rough idea of what it is that they truly want and desire within a woman or within a man. Now, what's showing up for them is an Empress. The person that's in the Strength card is the Empress. So that's telling me right there that they're finally getting what it is that they always wanted, which is a woman like you or a man like you. But the problem is that their own doubts and reservations are preventing them from essentially seeing, yo, by the way, remember when you wanted an Empress in your life? Well, here they are, you know what I mean? And it's like, I feel like they started to kind of see it at first, like, you know, when they started to get to know you before their doubts and reservations started to kick in and stuff like that. Like, they started to realize, like, wow, like, finally, you know, my Empress has arrived, you know what I mean? And then boom, it's like their doubts and reservations starts to, like, kick in, and they're just like, but this cannot be, you know, like, there's just no way. Like, they you know, there's no way, because you know what, now I think about it, they kind of look like a liar to me. They kind of look like a player to me. They kind of look like this, that, and the third to me. You know what I mean? It's like their own past traumas, doubts, and reservations are preventing them from essentially seeing they asked for all of this. Basically, they basically asked for all it. They wanted an empress. Well, here you go. They're here you go. Here they come, you know? And it's like, instead of them embracing what it is that they've always wanted, and prayed for, it's like, it's it's like they rather sit here and just question it. You know what I mean? You know? Does that make sense? Does that make sense, y'all? Does that make sense? And then the fact, and this doesn't even help either, because you're dealing with a masculine energy. So that's tough, because masculine energies are just known for keeping a lot of things to themselves, and it's just like bottling up a lot of things. So it's like everything that they're going through, you have no idea. You have no idea that this person's going through what they're going through. You have no idea. They're keeping all of this to themselves. Masculine energies are just like that. They have this really bad habit of bottling, you know, everything life throws in their direction. They just keep it to themselves, and they just kind of like suck it up, buttercup. And I think that it does have a lot to do with, you know, society and the way that society expects masculine energies to function, operate, and, you know, behave. So I do feel like, you know, that plays a massive role in why they're keeping, you know, what they're, you know, why they're keeping all of this to themselves. Because if they were to express it, I'm sure they're going to think it's like a sign of weakness. You know what I mean? And they don't want to come off weak or, you know, insecure. You know what I mean? Okay. I mean, are they just going to keep, I mean, at this point, what it looks like, dude, is that they're just going to keep investing time and energy towards you in their relationship with you, while feeling the way that they feel, feeling like you're a player, you're a this, you're a that. You know what I mean? And that's just going to continue to take a toll on this person, I would say. Because, I mean, keeping it to themselves is not going to make them feel better. I just think that this person needs to essentially realize that they're dealing with somebody who's really interested in them, and they're dealing with somebody who wants to go off and build and establish a life with them, aka you. Okay? And if this person, you know, can't learn to essentially come to you when they're going through something, they're in a world of trouble. They're in a world of trouble, because they should be able to speak to you. They should be able to lean on you. They should be, you know, because if we're talking about y'all coming together and building a life with one another, yeah, they should be able to do those things, just like you should be able to do those things with them. See what I mean? But it's like, I don't feel like they ever had that. So that's like a whole nother like bag of freaking enchiladas in itself, because I don't feel like they ever had that. Like, I don't feel like this person has ever been with someone that they felt like they could talk to. And be open and honest and transparent with, when it comes down to like their own personal struggles and stuff like that. I don't know if they were like, maybe they attempted to do it in the past and they were like viewed as like insecure or weak or whatever the case may be. I don't know. But again, if we're talking about the two of you building a life with one another because that's what they want, which is interesting, despite what they think, that's what they want with you. This is why they still continue to invest time and energy towards you, because regardless of what they think about you, they still want you in a life with you. So it kind of looks like they have every intentions of building a life with you, but they need to essentially learn that when it comes down to like their own personal struggles, they don't have to keep it to themselves anymore. They don't have to bottle it up anymore, because they got you. You know what I mean? They got you, and that's how it works, right? That's how it works. You know, y'all are supposed to be there for one another. I just kind of feel like they're used to being in relationships with people that made them feel like they were alone, like they didn't have anybody that they could talk to or you know, vent to, or you know, whatever. Like, I just kind of feel like they dealt with a lot of people who made them feel alone. You know what I mean? And I don't know if this person, I don't know if this person feels like, you know, if they were to open up to you when it comes down to what they're personally struggling with on their behalf in reference to you and their relationship with you, that you're just going to look at them like they're insecure or something, or weak or something. You know what I mean? But I don't believe that you will. That's the mind-blowing part of it all. I don't believe that you will. I don't feel like you're gonna look at this person, like when this person tells you, you know, Libra, I'm just so scared that you're gonna break my heart. Like, I don't feel like you're gonna look at them and be like, oh my God, How pathetic. Like, you're not going to do those things to them. You see what I mean? Like, if anything, you're going to be very nurturing, and loving and comforting. Like, that's what you're going to do, you know? But in this person's head, they're just like, no. They're not going to care, or they're just going to think I'm insecure and I'm a chicken, all these things, you know? But again, it's like they were dealing with a bunch of Queen of Wands prior to you. So, I mean, a Queen of Wands is somebody who's known for being selfish. They only really think about themselves and how they feel. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Hey, don't do that. Sorry, my dog started growling out of nowhere. But yeah, I just feel like this person needs to, like, again, set aside their doubts and reservations about you and really, really get to know you, and they'll see for themselves that they could be able to open up to you. They could be able to essentially express to you everything that they're essentially struggling with. They just got to allow themselves to, like, get to know you, because once they get to know you, they're going to see for themselves, like, I could talk to Libra about any freaking thing, and they're not going to judge me. They're not going to look at me like I'm insecure. They're not going to look at me like I'm weak. But again, it's like, they need to set aside their doubts and reservations. You know, they have to, because until then, they're going to forever think that they can't tell you things. They're going to forever think that they can't open up to you. Like, this is what they need to do. They need to set aside their doubts and reservations about you and really get to know you. And once they do get to know you, they'll see for themselves, like, okay, it is safe for me to tell them, you know, what I'm struggling with, and, you know, how this relationship scares me and how it worries me, and blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? But if they continue to hold on to this negative narrative about you, I mean, it does them or this relationship no good, you know? It just doesn't. So that is what I have for you. Hopefully the reading helped. Another thing too, Libra, what I do believe will essentially work in your benefit when it comes down to this one is this. Make this person feel as comfortable as you possibly can. Because this is somebody who struggles with being judged. So as you're getting to know this person, avoid making, like, judgmental statements, comments. Avoid all of that. You know what I mean? Just avoid all of that. Okay. Like, if you see somebody walking down the street, you know, and they're just wearing some questionable clothing, don't say nothing. Don't turn around and, you know, when you're with this person, be like, oh my God, look at this person. Look at what they're wearing. Like, you know, like, do they not own a mirror? Like, don't do that. Just, like, don't say any sort of judgmental statement, comment, or anything like that, because this is somebody who has a fear of being judged. So they need to see with their own two eyes that you're not a judgmental person. So when you guys are out and about, don't be judging people, okay? Not saying that you guys are like that, but just saying, like, just don't be judging people, because I feel like we all kind of judge, you know, either ourselves or other people to a certain extent. So just avoid all of that. But with them, it's like, you gotta make this person feel very, very comfortable. Very, very comfortable. In other words, mikasa is sukasa. You know what I mean? Like, make them feel comfortable. Make them feel like they could be themselves. You know what I mean? Around you. And that's what's gonna get this person to, like, lower their guard down, you know, with you. So avoid being judgmental towards, you know, them or, like, other people. I don't see you being judgmental towards them. It's just just don't let this person see you being judgmental towards anyone. Or even yourself too, because this person, if they see you judging yourself, they might think, well, damn, like, if they judge themselves, they're gonna fucking judge me. You know what I mean? So avoid doing all of that, but definitely make this person feel you know, safe and comfortable with you, because it's going to help them, like, lower their guard down with you, because that's what you should do. You know, in the meantime, is make them feel safe, secure. Yeah, make them feel safe and secure. Another thing too that I've noticed works is another thing that does essentially work when it comes down to helping a person lower their guard down is speaking to them like you've you know, known them your whole entire life. That also makes people feel very safe and secure when you speak to a person as if you've known them your whole entire life. Because it's going to, like, encourage them, you know what I mean, to, like, again, be themselves around you and not be afraid to do so, and, you know, things of that nature. But yeah, that's what I have for you. Hopefully the reading helped. Hopefully it resonated, and I will see you guys in your next reading.